Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese Qualifier. Here we have this group stage match between Energy Pacemaker Gaming and Team BHeart. This is the second game in a two-game series, and we're already off to the races with this one. A very fast tempo draft for Game 1. We get to see Dragonite, Lone Druid, Enchantress. They push towers. They push towers really well, and then they take the game. And that was a less than 25-minute game. I think it was 23:40 or something like that. And they will be taking that momentum into this next game here. They're going to force out similar bans to what we saw last time. The Undying and the Phantom Lancer get banned out, and the Centaur and Batrider do as well. But this opens up the Queen of Pain to come out for Energy Pacemaker. Queen of Pain and Alina, two very hotly contested picks, pretty much seen every game as a pick or a ban. Alina, I think she's slipped through a few times, but she's still the most picked hero in 6.84 so far. Earthshaker and Nightstalker actually picked up here, and both doing very different things in this situation. I guess we could see Earthshaker in the supportive role. We're definitely going to see Nightstalker in the supportive role. That's how Team BHeart have been running him as far as I've seen. They like to run Nightstalker Rubik, draft this combo up together, and get active. So it should be a core Lina, support Nightstalker and Rubik, and we'll see how Energy Pacemaker responds. I actually really like Rubik here, because if you look at it, Queen of Pain and Earthshaker have some great spells to steal, and with no animations, they're even more powerful. So I really do think the Rubik is the right pick here. It's really strong, and is going to be able to kind of force Enchantress or Energy Pacemaker into a little bit of a rough spot as far as how they develop themselves, what spells they go for, that kind of stuff. Enchantress is pretty good, though. Rubik's not one to really steal enchant. He definitely can, and still creeps back and forth, but not generally what you're looking for with your hero's ultimate. Anyway, so Enchantress is going to be hitting the field, and she's going to be kind of helping out the lanes quite a bit. She's going to look to just start off in the jungle, but rotate a lot and create opportunities across the map, as we kind of saw in Game 1. So, exciting to see what they're going to be able to do with that. But in the meantime, we're going to go into the fourth pick for Team BHeart. They need some more core action here.
Reserve time.
The problem is, you can't just look at a hero that goes BKB and say, yeah, you can stop all this disable and damage coming out, because Queen of Pain and Enchantress ultimates go right through BKB. So what you have to do is you have to find a hero that just is tanky no matter what, that can maybe go BKB to stop disables, but is naturally tanky so that he doesn't just get nuked down by the damage thereafter. You really can't go for a glass cannon here. You have to go for kind of an all-around hero that can tank up a decent amount, maybe go for a Scotty naturally. So we're going to be seeing that fourth pick come out, just getting updates as far as what's going to be going on with the next game. Generally trying to turn you guys over to Cyclops, and he'll be covering the last best of two. At least that's the game plan for now, and that may change as time goes by. But yep, we're going to be looking at Bristleback here as the pickup for Team BHeart. So again, somebody that's tanky, that can kind of weather the storm of all that pure damage. He still mitigates it with Bristleback as long as that passive is active. From behind, and if he goes for a BKB, that's fine, so it allows him to stay in the fight, but for the most part, it's really, really important that he survives, and that he's able to have enough effective HP to stick to it. We're going to be looking at this fourth pick for Energy Pacemaker, and I think there's some real potential with this lineup already. They've got good early game, mid game, and late game, and there's plenty of all-around heroes that can fit with that. They don't need any particular one thing. Maybe something that could gank the Lina a little bit. We saw Clockwork do some work last time, obviously that's banned out now, but any kind of offlane initiator that kind of gets close quarters with somebody would be really good, and there are a number of strength heroes that can do just that. So we'll see exactly what they have in mind. You don't really want to go like a Magnus or a Tidehunter against a Rubik, generally speaking, but you know, there are options at the very least. I'm still good to go for the Shaker offline and go for another support, but I'm not exactly sure what fits on the defensive here for EP, at least in their general intentions. Maybe they could just go for the carry at this stage in the game. Just go for your fans carry, pick up something that can deal with these heroes particularly well, and see where it goes. But no, they are going to go for that kind of in-your-face offlaner, and they're going to go for the Phoenix. So realizing that, you know, Nightstalker and Bristleback may not be able to get to their targets if there's a good Fisher positioning away from the Supernova. And with that, that means that there is only maybe 2 or 3 heroes right-clicking the egg. So Phoenix has some real potential here. It's also pretty hilarious to see Fire Spirits plus Untouchable. I don't think that'll really ever come into play because Night Stalker, Bristleback don't really right-click their opponents as much as they could. They go for Void, they use Quill Spray, they use their spells to get the damage in, and then when they need to finish somebody off, a couple of right-clicks will do. But yeah, nevertheless, Night Stalker's still the hunter in the night, so if he gets some like power treads at least, he might be able to at least help against that Supernova, and then they just need some BKBs up. But we'll see. We will see. So, we're going to be seeing the final banning phase come through. Brewmaster is an odd ban. Fan's hero is the one they're still looking for. Fan is absolutely going to be picking up a right-click carry, and although I'm sure he could have played the Brewmaster, I think they're a little bit more worried about a late-game hero in this situation. But we'll see. Drugged Haze is kind of frustrating to play against in terms of like dealing with the Phoenix. Yeah, you can't hit the egg because of the Drunken Haze, then you got some problems. But I think that's kind of the least of their worries. They still, the right-click carry is going to be strong with Fan, and he's got a lot of options in the pool right here. But maybe that's it. The aspect of there's so many right-click carries in the pool that you don't get to choose one particular one to ban without leaving in a bunch of others. So still see the Juggernaut, we'll still see the Slark. We're still going to be seeing them involved and trying to make some cool things happen. We'll see. There were actually quite a few good heroes to get buffed. I talk about Ursa a lot. I like that hero. I think that he's able to do quite a bit at this current point in time in the metagame. But you could still pick up a few others here. The Lone Druid could still work with this composition pretty well. But they're going to go with the Dragonite again. So they're actually going to be running Fan, Safe Lane, Queen of Pain. And with that, the Brewmaster ban is actually on point. So that's actually pretty good. They realized early on that Fan had a good chance of running that Queen of Pain, and they banned out the Brewmaster to make sure that Old Chicken can't pick that up. So they definitely know Energy Pacemaker's draft pretty well, but I'm not sure if they get the better end of it as a result. Right here, Old Chicken still gets the Dragonite, which he performed very respectably on in the last draft. They still get a good duo of supports in the Enchantress and the Phoenix. And they still are going to be very involved in the early mid game. So this is going to change things a little bit. I'll get rid of that stuff. Nonsense there. But yeah, it's still going to be a very active lineup from Energy Pacemaker. But if you look at things here, a little bit of delay picking up the items, it seems. Yeah, LT gets the Courier. Those are some cool wings. Those aren't immortals or anything, are they? No, just mythical, genuine wings of Searing Pain. Pretty sweet. Those are really cool wings, actually. Like, I know most people don't look at Queen of Pain for her wings, but those are, like, some of the best modeled wings I've seen in Dota 2. So, there you go. Anyways, speaking of, an interesting set for the Night Stalker, too. The span of Black Nihility. Interesting. And we'll give him a shout-out, too. Showcase shout out. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Rawr. Okay. I need some sleep apparently. I'm gonna take a 2-hour break between my Chinese cast and my European cast, and hopefully I'll get a nap in between. Got some caffeine juicing me up for now, and hopefully that will suffice. Let's look at the heroes. Let's look at the rosters. Let's try to avoid distractions. Sure is going to be running on the support Night Stalker. He's going to be supporting alongside the Rubik, played by Yellow. Lena is going to be going for the bounty rune here. 86 wants that extra set of tangos or a salve. Sometimes 86 actually just goes for a straight bottle, but it's generally a less consistent item progression. It doesn't free up the courier as much. It's more likely to get sniped, that kind of stuff. But we'll see. For right now, she's got money to burn. That's Lena in the mid lane. Dog 7 is going to be taking the Bristleback to the off lane here with that Mango. Very good for any Bristleback to start off with, no matter what role. And he's got plenty of HP regen too. So, good for him. Gonna see as well Puerti taking up the safe lane Juggernaut boots first and seeing what he can do with that. But look at this block. With the Fisher block, we're actually going to see the most perfect equilibrium for the Dire side offlane. Like, absolutely impeccable. Getting the creeps out to this exact spot. Safe to farm for the side of the Dire. No way that the creeps don't even go under tower until they choose to make them with the creep aggro. and they'll get some good last hits. So this is going to force the Juggernaut into a very difficult position where he won't really be able to farm too much unless this pull is successful. And we'll see him try to time it out. Earthshaker's going to mess it up, and that should be that if he can get the Shard Golems to pull away. And there they are. So with that, this is a single pull coming out from BHeart, and that's just going to push the lane out once again. So Rubik and Nightstalker aren't going to be able to do too much here, and Juggernaut is going to get less and less farm as a result. He's actually back here farming on the second creep wave, but in the end, I can't imagine he gets too much out of this. In fact, missing a couple when the waves clash. That's very unfortunate. So this dual lane is already succeeding, because the Phoenix is going to get to level 2.5, and the Juggernaut's going to lose out on some farm. But mid-matchup's going to be pretty interesting. Let's go back over to that. Old Chicken is running on his Dragonite, of course, going up against 86's Lina, and it's going to be a back-and-forth engage there. Before we saw this matchup the exact same earlier, and we're actually seeing a Mud Golem gank. Mud Golem comes through from the Enchantress, and Dog 7 going to be taking a lot of damage here. The Bristleback's not going to keep him alive to the right clicks, and Fan will draw first blood. So although this stun duration isn't very long, the damage is pretty significant from it, and they're going to be able to kill him off with the Boulder Hurl. So Mud Golem's doing work in a way you'd never imagine. But yeah, so Fan kind of 1v1ing the Bristleback here. Now that she's level 3, she's actually putting a second point in Blink, which just reduces the cooldown from 15 to 12. Generally not what you'll see when there's so many ways to improve your harassment potential with the Shadow Strike. Anyhow, Enchantress is going to be go ahead jungling up here and seeing what she can do, getting the Frost Mage out to help out the Dragonite against Alina. It's just a little bit of a buff up here, a nice little armor boost for him, but it makes it so Alina can't right-click harass him so significantly. Now, the Earthshaker did have to make a rotation. Up to the top lane he goes. No boots, just the bottle, but he's happy to roam around and have the chance to actually block off this Bristleback and pin him down for a second kill. Looking at early CS, 13-11 for the Queen of Pain. 15-0 for Old Chicken is actually what surprises me the most. Old Chicken should not be winning this lane at all, but just getting a little bit more in terms of last hit thanks to the Breathe Fire and, of course, suppressing the Lina's base damage every time he hits her with that spell. In the bottom lane, now that the Phoenix is level 3, he's able to go more active onto aggress the Juggernaut and Puerti. He only has 13 last hits, guys. This is really bad for him, starting off this slowly. Double damage room being stocked up here. It looks like Old Chicken wants to bottle it up, but Earthshaker's going to do it instead. So, looks like Bottle Crow for the Dragon Knight, and we'll see what the Earthshaker can do with that extra sustainability. You can kind of stand in this position here and try to go for a Fisher across. That sometimes works out pretty well. But no matter what he ends up doing, we're seeing Lina forced to head towards the bottom rune for the 4-minute spawn. And look at this stack. Wow. Okay, it looks a little bit exaggerated with how many creeps are involved. It's 7 creeps for only a double, but now we have a triple, and we add in 3 more. So really easy to AoE down. Either the Queen of Pain or Dragonite can pick that up pretty easily. Wild Wing can do it as well, but Tornado's on cooldown, as you can see. So down bottom is going to be the Phoenix. Icarus diving, but with the silence from the Night Stalker, he's actually going to be caught out here, and that is a really good combo. They used the telekinesis to make him feel comfortable to Icarus dive away, because generally speaking, the Icarus dive, you wait for you get lifted out of the telekinesis, it cancels the dive. So they look at that and they're like, okay, well, if they void and they telekinesis, I can just Icarus, and that's going to be fine. But what ends up happening is he cripples during the Icarus, and you can't cancel it. So suddenly, the Phoenix is stuck in his Icarus dive, he takes the self-inflicted damage from the spellcast, and then he's stuck in the dive, wrapping right back around. So that gives an easy kill to the Night Stalker here. And now it's nighttime. Nighttime is fight time. He wants to make a play happen. The Void comes out onto Old Chicken to slow him down a little bit, and they even cripple him, Laguna him. The TP rotation not going to do anything here. So really good movement from the Night Stalker, and it's mostly just due to the fact that the Dire can't see anything. They have no vision on the mid lane. They need to get a ward down here or across the ridge. They need to get that vision out for the Dragonite. Meanwhile, up top lane, Fan going for a build that just ignores the second point Shadow Strike and delays the extra points in the Scream of Pain. It's 1-2-2-1. Can't say I've ever seen it. And otherwise, Juggernaut building pretty heavily into stats here. 2-0-1. No points even in the healing ward just yet. The Phoenix level 4. So we'll see if Tranquil Boots into Midas is the progression for Lei. It's your pretty standard build for the offlane Phoenix, but sometimes things go a little bit the way you don't intend them to. And this stack will not succeed. There are way too many creeps. There are 10 creeps there. They're not going to be able to stack that camp. Still, Wild Wing will clear things out pretty nicely, and Centaur's still going to keep this Enchantress active. So otherwise, a pretty passive laning phase. We'll look back over at last hit since net worth doesn't really start to show its value just yet in this game. And why not jump over to early levels? We've got level 7 on the Queen of Pain and the Lina, level 3 on the supports, and pretty much everybody in between. Yeah, I mean, I would say they're pretty much neck and neck here, other than the Earthshaker being 1 level low. Well, actually, the Earthshaker and the Enchantress are both 1 level low. Why is the Enchantress so underleveled? I mean, I know she's been stacking a lot, but I figure she's farmed just enough to get herself off the ground. I don't know. Pretty selfless play. It seems like she's ganked top with the Mud Golem. She ganked mid with the Shard Golems. And is putting out pressure wherever she can. So just really trying to be involved early on. We're going to see a flank to gank onto the Phoenix to try to get the Acres dive out. Or cancel it, rather. But we'll see the silence just prevented entirely. And they'll be able to bring down Lei in just a moment. Oh, actually going to use the Omni Slash here. They could have all just right-clicked, but they backed off early to give him a free kill. And in the end, he's worried he'll miss it and goes for the Omni play. So that kills him, but they get a turnaround, killing off 2 as Fan TP's down. Now Juggernaut, not in a great spot. And also 1 more kill. It's going to be the Dragonite killing off the Lina in mid. So that's just the Elder Dragon form. Dragon Tail is done. Adding in the Breathe Fire, you get yourself a nice toasty Lina. Up top here, Lei going to be harassing back Dog 7. Going to go for the Icarus too, but I really just think that's more of an annoyance than anything else. Not really going to be giving him cause for concern.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Wings on everybody this game, man. Got the Queen of Pain, got the Dragonite, Night Stalker. Everybody's got wings. And yet nobody is flying with them. What's that about? So now we're going to switch over to net worth. We see that there is a 2,000 gold advantage to EP right now. Energy Pacemaker are pulling forward. Nice set of kills there. In exchange, the 3-for-1 essentially is really what's pulling them ahead here. And actually going to add in 1 more if I can get the camera on it. There we go. Dog 7, awkward spot for him to be in, getting caught out by that DK stun. They will, however, get the Laguna Blade onto the Phoenix, and that's going to do some real good damage. So they kill him off. 1-for-1 in that conclusion. And the Lina investing her Laguna Blade to make that happen. Down bottom, going to be a dive past the tower that did get denied by the Juggernaut. Really nice deny coming from the Juggernaut, but now Rubik, caught in no man's land, will be going down. So now under the Observer Ward, he has to kind of fall back. Puerty, though, phase boots only, going to go for that deny. That's still a really clutch play. Getting that tower last hit gold taken away from EP is really important. Otherwise, they'd just be snowballing right now. They'd be full frontal assault, especially since it's daytime against the Night Stalker, who's only level 5. They would have so much confidence in pushing and pressuring, but a little bit less gold means a little bit less movement towards their next big item. Still, we're going to see the Elder Dragon form come out on this top tier 1. Immediate Glyph of Fortification, despite no creeps hitting the tower. Old Chicken will still put out 1 more hit to get the Corrosive going and keep doing his thing. He's actually building towards the same build as before. Again, he builds this cloak into the Glimmer Cape so that he can then disassemble it later for the Silver Edge. So didn't see that in the last game, but I'm absolutely sure that's what his long-term intentions are. But at least for now, he's actually diving a little bit deep here, taking some tower hits, but Fan gets a quick Sonic Wave out. Telekinesis meaning very little here. We're going to see the Void, now the Cripple, onto Old Chicken, but it's going to be the Darkness to pop out as Night Stalker hits 6. He's got the Magic Stick, but he's taking a lot of damage here, and he just wasted his Darkness completely. Oh no, Supernova going to force them back a little bit here. Not going to kill anybody though. So all Darkness is doing right now is suppressing vision, but they don't really need vision to see what their objective is this tower here. So really this Darkness is not really helping the Night Stalker at all, and as soon as that expires, he's stuck in the daylight for a minute and a half straight. No choice about it. That's really unfortunate. And they needed that fight to go a lot better. And Glimmer Cape now up for Old Chicken, gets it off the Courier, glimmers away pretty early. Has to remember, this actually has a mana cost now. Yesterday it didn't, but they did a mini patch, and it does cost 130 mana now, so maybe not use it as actively, but still. Gets to bottle up the Bounty Rune, and he's full mana nevertheless. Yule Scepter coming out on the Queen of Pain. You used to see this a lot against a Skywrath Mage. The fact is, he's got the Ancient Steel, and you want to be able to get out of the slow silence combo. But I don't see any reason why it would be bad against the Crippling Fear or the Omni Slash, or maybe both. So we're going to see there from the Queen of Pain. And also buys 2.5 seconds to get another Scream of Pain off. So if in the fight that makes a difference, cool beans. So, going to look at the graphs once more. We're going to see that holding strong and steady at 4,000 is Energy Pacemaker and their gold advantage. Looking at about 1,700 for experience here. Any big items coming out? The Enchantress is going to be coring up her treads. So, no, just some wards for herself, playing 5 position Enchantress. As I mentioned, she's really not getting much out of anything. And Dog 7 is actually going to go for a headdress here. No matter what this headdress is supposed to be, I don't think it's going to be making an impact fast enough this game. He's so far behind. He has mana problems. Pipe, mech, Vlad's, anything the headdress builds into is going to be either really low impact or too expensive, considering its mana cost along with its gold costs. Just a really difficult position for the Bristleback to be in. He wants to be useful, he wants to bring utility, but honestly, he's going to be sitting on separate components for a while. Still, I mean, the Juggernaut's farming up pretty well, at least. Down bottom, he's going to be pressuring hard onto the Tier 1 tower. The Mask of Madness active, he's already been doing some good jungling, and now he's actually getting to get some face time with the tower itself. Lina, on the other hand, she's pretty far behind. She's going for Drums of Endurance to try to pull it back. We're going to see Old Chicken come in. He tried to Glimmer in, I think. Now he's glimmering out, but under the Sentry Ward, he's still going to take some massive damage. Still, he gets the return kill onto, at first, Alina. Next, the Bristleback living with 6, but taking down to the fatal damage over time of the Corrosive Breath. No longer based on the Orb of Venom coating. It is fatal, and that is a really big deal. Getting the kills there, getting the initiation they're looking for. They put a lot into Old Chicken there with their jump, but he's got Dragon Blood for armor, he's got Glimmer Cape for magic resistance, and he's got the Treads for HP, as well as being a strength hero naturally. So he's pretty tanky, and they throw a bunch at him, but they're not able to bring him down. And they pull forward by taking down another Tier 1 tower. We see some pings going for Roshan. They do have the Blink Dagger to cover this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can just pretty much hide in this position, Blink Echo if ever necessary, and I think they were just pinging to make sure Juggernaut wasn't doing it, but he's in the jungle, doing his own thing, and he has enough mana for spin, so he should be fine. So yeah, they don't want to do the roast themselves, that would be kind of crazy, but they do want to make sure that Juggernaut isn't able to sneak it at any point in time. So, we're going to be seeing Earthshaker blink to the south, them smoke up, and the Radiant almost saw it, but I don't think they did. It is very close call, but for right now, they're smoking through. We're seeing them play very reserved either way, and whether or not they saw it, they're playing it safe. And they're grouping up together, maybe looking for a smoke play of their own here. Smoke coming out, but already the Echo Slam initiation onto Lina. They chain stun her, they nuke her down, and Lina will be fried once again. Now some damage onto the Phoenix. Good spells there, but the Glimmer Cape speeds him away. He's going to be fine, and now it's going to be Juggernaut spinning and running for the hills. Going to be a spell still coming out. The Scream of Pain, not the best spell, and it's going to be the Supernova up against them. They Fisher block. They kill off the Rubik, and Old Chicken looks for more. But it's going to be Juggernaut killing off a creep and then heading back to safety. They do place the knobs right under the sentry ward. A couple of good sentries here, kind of getting some standard wards taken care of. Any wards in this territory, and then kind of like up here, there's very commonly wards placed out, sometimes in the lane as well. So, good D wards, good detection, but right now, vision is not the issue. The issue is this massive Dragonite knocking on your front door, tanky as all get out, and the Centaur going into the tier 2. Oh, nice Omni Slash going out. Gonna bring down the Enchantress. They're looking for more. They'll get the cripple onto Phoenix. They might be able to bring him down, but Fisher block in between. Old Chicken doing massive damage. A Scream, a Breathe Fire, and down they all go. 2 down. Now pursuing onto Dog 7, who just isn't tanky enough to really do enough here. He wants the close spray to keep rolling, but he dies so fast. And like I said, he's getting items, but they're going to come out so slowly, and even then he's going to have a ton of mana problems. So it's too delayed. This Bristleback is having a really hard game, and they can't kill anyone, it seems. Like, they killed the Enchantress with the Omni Slash. She's back up, she's ready to go. They are affected by darkness once more, but not sure if that's the ideal. So they're just going to go for the Roche with 2 points and untouchable. He's going to be very slow attack speed, having a really hard time going for that target. Maim also reduces attack speed by 20%. So that's going to come out from the Sange. So, all 4-man Roche attempt going very gradually, not even in treads to take care of it. Nobody wants in treads. Everybody's playing it safe with the high HP values of the strength power treads, because they just want to make sure that they can't be jumped on here, even if they get caught unawares, which they certainly would be. So they sneak it, they get the Aegis. Fan now very confident in himself and looking to go in big. Sure, going in retreat down bottom, and he popped his darkness at a rather odd time. He actually popped it to extend the night right when daylight broke, but the problem with that is now it's 45 seconds till the next time that he can use it, and unfortunately that means that it is going to be a time where he can't defend a tier 2 tower. Not sure if they would have gone for the defense here anyway, since they don't have the mechanism finished on Bristleback, but just something to consider. Still Bristleback, he's going to focus on Ancients here. Doesn't have much mana to work with though. No Arcanes on anybody? Not a single set of Arcane Boots on the side of BraveHeart. This Bristleback's going to have to buy a Mango just to use his mechanism. Like, seriously. This mechanism isn't going to be as useful as he really wants it to be. In fact, he's having a hard time just finishing these Ancients, but he will get the mech. He will look to defend the high ground with it. Just that he doesn't have mana to TP back home. He's got to run, and we're going to see the damage come out too quickly. Already the Sonic Wave hitting onto the Lina. Pretty long cooldown to expend for a missed opportunity, but still putting some damage in this tier 3 tower. They have officially broken the base. The darkness scaring them off a little bit. It's 3 spooky, 5 me, but in the end, 86 just can't do enough to hold it. It's got to be on somebody else. The Rubik might be able to find good spell steal here. I'm not sure what, though. Did Queen of Pain cast a spell since her Sonic Wave? Certainly hope so. We're going to see a stun hit a creep. Misclick by Old Chicken. Now the Supernova right on everyone. Icarus Dive, Supernova, Echo Slam. All the damage coming out. They will pop the egg before it explodes, though. Lina with the Fiery Soul and the Drum of Endurance doing work there. Now we see Fan in a good spot to pursue onto 86. Eul Scepter to keep him in position, but they need the Fissure. They need more damage onto him. The Scream, the Shadow Strike, and the right click. They'll get this kill. They buy back on the Night Stalker, cleaning up the Shaker. Fan gonna go on the run and blinking out. And they buy back on the Lina too. They didn't need the buyback on the Lina to get the Shaker, and the others were already gone. Oh, that was a missed buyback from the Lina. That was really bad. Other than that, I think that they did the best they could with what they had. They held the high ground. They killed the Supernova. I mean, that egg is only level 1, so the Drums of Endurance attack speed boost is really helpful to take that down. But the buyback on the Lina was very costly in my mind. I mean, she's not farming right now for this duration because of 60% reduction of unreliable and reliable gold. And then, of course, the buyback cost itself was 610. So she loses pretty big there in my mind. And beyond that, EP, they take the tier 3 tower, they do some good damage to some barracks, they get some kills, they walk away. Gold graph now showing 11,000 in favor of EP. Experience graph is showing just about 6 or 7,000. They're deathballing pretty hard, so the experience is hard to come by, but they're still leading, which is the key. Alright, well, Dog 7, this is his moment of truth. What does he go for next? Does he go for Arcanes himself and look towards Guardian Greaves? It's kind of what you got to do when you're under this much offensive pressure, when you're just trying to tank up in any way. I think you have to go for that item, but it's generally not your core plan for your Bristleback in the offlane. Blink Dagger up for the smoked up Earthshaker. No Echo Slam, but they're just going to walk right in. Fan right on the front line. 2 smoke behind him. They don't care about subtlety anymore. They just want to go in. Popping the Elder Dragon form, walking right to the front line. They know Lina has no buyback here, and that's going to be critical for the next fight. Dog 7, he will be able to get the mech off. No! He doesn't get the mechanism off. He has to buy back. The Supernova kills off Rubik, and the egg is not going to go down this time. Dog 7 buys back right into a chain stun again. He better get the mech off this time. He will. Magic Stick as well is available, but it's still him in retreat in full. Omni Slash coming through, split among 4, and Pure T can't finish off anybody. Old Chicken on the front line, tanking and spanking with this Reaver, and they're gonna clean them all up. Wicked 6 streak for the Earthshake, or no, for the Dragonite, and then they're gonna clean up the racks. This is GG. This is BHeart, unable to respond. 50 seconds down is the Lina dying back. The 42-second death timer for the Bristleback dying back. They tried to pull it back, but they just couldn't. They just couldn't in the end. It was too much pressure from EP. This Death Ball draft is working really well. And the cool thing is it's not like a cheese strat. It's not like no carry whatsoever, have to win in 30 minutes or less. We have some pretty good solid late game. We can take it there if we need to, but we have so much push emphasis that we're going to take advantage of it while we can. Pressuring your weaknesses. Pressuring the fact that Night Stalker is weak during so many periods of time during the day. And the Juggernaut isn't fully online yet. He went for Battle Fury here, which in general is fine, but in this game didn't do enough. Lina, I mean, it's just in general. Like, there were too many kills coming out against BHeart. They got picked off a couple of times. They took a few bad fights, but when it came down to it, EP just had the better draft for the timing that the game most relied upon. And at 22 minutes, they take this game away, and that's going to wrap it up. So I'm going to check in with Cyclops. I'm going to figure out if he's going to be covering this next upcoming game or if I will. I am very appreciative that you guys have tuned into the broadcast to this point. If that is it for me, then I wish you guys all the best. It's been a pleasure casting iLeague for you guys these past few days. I believe I will be doing some streaming tomorrow as well to cover some of it, but it's not going to be like a 6 to 8 hour stretch. It's going to be like maybe 4 hours. So Chinese Dota has been always fun, and 6.84 Chinese Dota has been some of the best, most enjoyable Dota I've cast in some time. So it's been really nice covering these games for you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Although it's been pretty exhausting me covering so many back-to-back games, and maybe the commentary wasn't the best as I wear down a little bit. I did try my best, and I hope you guys appreciated it. I will be seeing you guys in the near future, hopefully pretty soon. If you just check out BeyondTheSummit.tv, you'll see wherever BTS is covering something. Like I'm going to be on Twitch.tv/esportal in about 2.5 hours, actually. And, of course, you can always follow me on Twitter @BlazeCasting and get updates very specifically where I'm going to be at and when. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. That wraps up Energy Pacemaker versus BHeart. They take it 2-0, and that is the iLeague group stage Chinese qualifiers. See you guys soon, guys. It might be, if the stream goes down, it's just going to be a switch over between myself and Cyclops. Otherwise, I'll be covering one more game, and then Cyclops will kick in for the last one. Anyways, thanks again for tuning in, and see you guys later.